Hello, I'm Akyoldaş, and today I will talk with you about test anxiety over students. I will take my brother as a guest and we will talk about his issues when he was at his exam year. Let's start defining what is test anxiety, its symptoms, effect on students, also children, and that how should they deal with it. First, I will talk about how test anxiety affects us. You have done all of your homework and studied hard, and you think you have a grip on the material, but then the day of the test comes. Suddenly you blank out, freeze up, zone out, or feel so nervous that you can't get it together to respond to those questions. You knew the answers to just last night. If this sounds like you, you may have a case of test anxiety. That nervous feeling that people sometimes get when they're about to take a test. It's normal to feel a little nervous and stressed before a test. Just about everyone does. And the little nervous anticipation can actually help you do better on a test. But for some people, test anxiety is more intense. The nervousness they feel before a test can be so strong that it interferes with their concentration or performance. What is test anxiety? Test anxiety is actually a type of performance anxiety, a feeling someone might have in a situation where performance really counts or when the pressure on to do well. For example, a person might have performance anxiety just before trying out for the school play, singing a solo on stage, getting into position at the pitcher's mound, stepping onto the platform in a diving meet, or going into an important interview. Like at other situations in which a person might feel performance anxiety, test anxiety can bring on butterflies, a stomach, or a headache. Some people might feel shaky or sweaty, or feel their heart beating quickly as they wait for the test to be given out. A student with really strong test anxiety may even feel like he or she might pass or throw up. Test anxiety is not the same as doing poorly on a certain test because your mind is on something else. Most people know that having other things on their minds, such as a breakup or the death of someone close, something like that, can interfere with their concentration and prevent them from doing their best. What causes test anxiety? All anxiety is a reaction to anticipating something stressful. Like other anxiety reactions, test anxiety affects the body and the mind. When you're under stress, your body releases the hormone adrenaline, which prepares you for danger. That may cause the physical symptoms such as sweating, a pounding heart, and rapid breathing like this. This sensation might be mild or intense. Focusing on the bad things that could happen also fuels that anxiety. For example, someone worrying about doing poorly might have thoughts like, what if I forget everything I know? Or why did the test is so hard? Too many thoughts like these leave no mental space for thinking about test question. People with test anxiety can also feel stressed out by the physical reaction. What if I throw up? Or, oh, my hands are shaking, like this. Just like other types of anxiety, test anxiety can create a bad cycle. The more a person focuses on negative things that could happen, the stronger the feeling of anxiety becomes. This makes the person feel worse and with a head is full of distracting thoughts and fears, can increase the chances that he or she will do poorly on the test. Who is likely to have test anxiety? People who worry a lot or who are perfectionists are most likely to have trouble with test anxiety. People with these traits sometimes find it hard to accept mistakes they might make or to get anything less than a perfect score. In this way, even without meaning to, they might really pressure themselves. Test anxiety is bound to thrive in a situation like this. Students who aren't prepared for tests, but who care about doing well, are also likely to have test anxiety. If you know you are not prepared, it's a no-brainer to realize that you will be worried about doing poorly. People can feel unprepared for tests for several reasons. They might not have studied enough. They might find the material difficult, or perhaps they feel tired because they didn't get enough sleep the night before. What can we do? Test anxiety can be a real problem if you are so stressed out over a test that you can't get past the nervousness to focus on the test questions and do your best work. Feeling ready to meet the challenge, though, can keep test anxiety at a manageable level. You can use a little stress to your advantage. Stress is your body's warning mechanism. It is a signal that helps you prepare for something important that's about to happen. So use it to your advantage. Instead of reacting to the stress by dreading, complaining, or flattering about tests with the friends, take an active approach. Let stress remind you to study well in advance for tests. Chances are you'll keep your stress from spinning out of control. After all, nobody ever feels stressed out by thoughts that they might do well on a test. Ask for help. Although a little test anxiety can be a good thing, an overdose of it is another story. If sitting for a test gets you stressed out that your mind goes blank and causes you to miss answers that you know, then your level of test anxiety probably needs some attention. Your teacher, a school guidance counselor, or a tutor can be good people to talk to test anxiety gets to be too much to be prepared. Some students think that going to class is all it should take to learn and do well on tests. But there is much more to learning than just hoping to soak up everything in class. That's why good study habits and skills are so important. And why no amount of cramming or studying the night before a test can take the place of the deeper level of learning that happens over time with good study skills. Many students find that their test anxiety eases when they start to study better or more regularly. It makes sense. The more you know the material, the more confident you feel. Having confidence going into a test means you expect to do well. When you expect to do well, you will be able to relax into a test after the normal first moment jitters pass. Watch what you are thinking. If expecting to do well on a test can help you relax, what about if you expect you won't do well? Watch out for any negative messages you might be sending yourself about the test. They can contribute to your anxiety. If you find yourself thinking negative thoughts, I'm never any good at taking tests, or it's going to be terrible if I do badly on this test, replace them with positive messages. Not unrealistic positive messages, of course, but ones that are practical and true, such as I have studied hard and I know the material, so I'm ready to do the best I can. And it will help you really accept your mistakes. Another thing you can do is learn to keep mistakes in perspective, especially if you're a perfectionist or you tend to be hard on yourself. Everyone makes mistakes, and you may have even heard teachers or coaches refer to mistakes as learning opportunities. Learning to tolerate small failures and mistakes, like that one problem you got wrong in a math pop-up quiz, is a valuable skill. Take care of yourself. It can help to learn ways to calm yourself down and relax when you're tense or anxious. For some people, this might mean learning a simple breathing exercise. Practicing breathing exercises regularly when you're not stressed out, though, helps your body see this exercise as a signal to relax. And of course, taking care of your health, such as getting enough sleep, exercises, and healthy eats before a test, can help keeping your mind working at its best. Everything takes time and practice, and learning to be test anxiety is no different. Although it won't go away overnight, facing and dealing with test anxiety will help you to learn stress management, which can prove to be a valuable skill in many situations besides taking tests. Hello again. This is my guest. He will introduce himself before our interview.
Hi there, I'm Tuna, his brother. I'm 18 years old and I have a exam experience for last year, the Turkish graduation exam from high school for universities, YKS. Right now I'm studying in Bilgi University in psychology department. That's my story.
Mhm. So, how was your exam year actually? Can you explain your feelings and mood during the year?
To be honest, YKS, the exam of the Turkey for the university, is one of the hardest exams in the entire world. The content of exam is not suited for students which going to do the exam. So that's the biggest pressure for the people. It's not for only for me. It's also for my uh, friends. Also, they feel the same thing as me. It's a hard like sometimes you can't breathe. Maybe you can say it's it's a long marathon, so you have to do that, but it's like one shot. You have to do it, but
Mhm.
you can't. What will happen if you couldn't do the exam?
Yeah, it's a hard
One
journey
year
actually.
1 year marathon again. Like I have friends, they're going to enter the exam like third time. They came to 20 years old and they're still not in the university. The parents, the pressure of the parents, the pressure of the society. It's a harsh feeling. You feel yourself entrapped that way. So that's a very bad situation, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I understand. You're when a teenager is 17 or 18, and last year of their high school, they will enter the exam, and it's really a rough year actually, because you, like you said, the depression, the anxiety, because of the pressure of the parents, pressure of the exam, anxiety about their future. These things are really hard on us. Everyone feels
Like
that. I felt that
like
also.
it's not only for the exam.
Of
Like the
course.
materials of the exam are expensive and expensive. Like in the simple textbook is like 70 Turkish lira.
Yeah.
It's a huge gap.
So expectation is so high that affects
Yeah, and
everyone. I know. So
if you have to start the journey again, new materials, new
yeah, yeah,
things. It's again. It's a very hard feeling.
it's just depressing. I know. So to if we go to test anxiety part, how did you feel before entering the exam? The day before the exam, actually. How did you feel?
To be honest, before the exam day, like night, I didn't feel any anxiety and fear because it's
Hmm.
not the end of the world. If
Of course.
I feel 1 year later I'm going to enter this exam again, and my family is always supportive about me in the subjects. And in my opinion, I worked hard for this exam, so there is nothing to lose, in my opinion,
Hmm.
to myself. But when the subject is about my friends, I know the people who shaking, crying before the exam day. Like I spoke with people, my classmates from the high school, like they are very sad and heartbreaking stories for the yesterdays. But in my subject, it's not that much hard. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
I understand. So it's good actually you not to feel that heartbreaking, depressing, mind blowing experiences because lots of people felt that way before the exam. Like you said,
Mhm.
they even most of us, most of them, couldn't sleep before exam because of the anxiety. What will happen? What will happen now? We are gonna go through this. It will be okay. Can will I handle this exam this year or there will be extensions? Will I going through this experience again and again and again? It's so hard. Yeah, it's so hard.
Like
But like you said, you worked hard actually, and that's why I think you were confident for yourself better. So to go
mhm.
move forward to move whatever going forward, how was the exam day? How did you felt? I mean, before the right before the exam or the sheet come into your hand. How was the experience?
uh, there's a saying in the Millionaire TV show. It's not same from the TV. The atmosphere is different.
Yeah.
That's a kind of same subject. Like yesterday, I don't have any anxiety or any fear. Like a little bit excitement in my chest, I can say. But once down that chair, you wait. It's a harsh rating, by the way. They sit you like 10 minutes before the exam, so you just wait 10 minutes with your pencil and observe your surroundings, the other people, the other sheep. That's kind of
Hmm.
place. There, it's kind of relativity. The time slows, your heartbeat slows or fasts. It's up to you.
It depends on you.
Depends on you. Yes, it's a hard feeling. I can say it's in my makeups, like in my before exams for the training for the
Yeah. Hmm.
exam. I was doing my twice as better, but in the exam time, in the real exam, I did my half
Hmm.
because of when I put when I take the pencil and look to the paper, the exam, I couldn't read. I couldn't do math. Like in the simple, 2 plus 2 equal 4. Am I sure that? So that kind of thing. And I can say in the exam, like below zero. It's been a total disaster for me. Like I say, for my student colleagues, my friends from the high school, like uh, I can say like 20 people or 25 people is going to enter the exam in here again because they have failed because of anxiety and the hardness of the
Mhm.
exam. I can say that.
If I step into the conversation now, you know that I entered this exam like 4 times total. Uh, I made it to university at my first try actually, but then I wanted to do better, so I get into exams again and again and again. Last year, I actually entered the exam with my brother. So
Yeah.
we were at the same school that day. We talked before the exam stuff. Actually, he was okay, yeah, like he said. But when we separated in our classes, so I had a chance to observe others too. Like he said, maybe he panicked a lot because the other people is panicking a lot also. But this was my fourth time, and it was actually so easy for me. I went there, I waited there, I had no expectations from myself. I had no fears. I hadn't anything. But I had a chance to observe others like you do. After the exam starts, it goes worse actually. I know the waiting is so hard because what will happen? Your mind's thinking, creating some constructions, expecting this now. It will be easy. Will it be hard? It's so hard to declare actually, and that makes your confidence disappear in a moment, in a sense, because other people is feeling the same as you. Like I said, last year, I had a chance to observe other people, and I really feel how you feel. It's so hard. It was harsh. But
Yeah, I can
what did
say
go on,
finish
continue?
finish your work.
I was going
Finish
to
your work.
say after the in the middle of exam, how was your feelings? You started okay. It was your stomach was hurting. Maybe your mind was creating some structures. Okay, but after 5 or 10 minutes, how did you feel?
There is a lovely saying from Cem Karaca. Bindik bir alamete gidiyoruz kıyamete.
Hmm.
Which is mean we started a disaster, so we have to go till the end. I
Hmm.
can
Yeah.
translate this like way. It starts. There is the only way I have to do. In the worst case scenario, I will enter the exam in 1 year later.
Hmm.
I try to do my best. That's it. I can say.
Yeah. So finishing the exam makes you relieve so hard because the year passed, your all that coveredness, loss of confidence, or the you created minds and things in your mind ended because exam time is over. So how did you feel after the exam?
Hmm. To be honest, a kind of emptiness because of you have a life schedule before the exam.
Yeah.
You have a one side of to accomplish, but when the exam is done, you find yourself in a hole. You don't have any plan for you.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, there's a kind of living that way, so I can do it. But it's kind of bored. It started like I know my friends. I know one of my friends. He entered the Boğaziçi, by the way. He did very well in the exam, but like in the summer period, he said to me, "I'm so bored, so I sit down and open a math and do math for nothing."
Wow. Exam hits
It's
you hard, really. The
yeah,
test, this test is.
it's a
Continue.
hmm,
I couldn't hear because of your voice got down. Can you say it again?
okay. In my opinion, very hard hit for your psychology, for
Hmm.
student psychology.
Yeah.
It's a very early stage of your life.
Hmm.
Like you're just a teen. Like you can apply any job, but you are going to enter your exam of
Yeah.
life.
It's so hard. It's so hard. Thank you for sharing, actually.
It's it's been a pleasure.
This was a good conversation for myself. Like I said, thank you. So goodbye.
Thanks.
Hello,
Goodbye.
everybody. My name is Razan, and I'll be talking about stress with teenagers, especially in high school. What is stress? Teens may be stressed or face stressful situations day to day. Stress is a feeling of emotional and physical tensions. It could be overwhelming, feeling from too much pressure and not being able to deal with your mental emotions. There are 6 most common things that may cause stress. The academic stress, such as high school grades, keeping up your GPA, pleasing your teachers, your parents by getting high grades. Social stress. Social stress, teens spend most of their days around their high school peers, and finding friends could lead to stress from time to time, and stepping out of their comfort zone. Family discords. When it comes to family problems, sometimes it could be very major and affect teens and their daily routines. World events, such as acts of terrorism, natural disasters, or even some school shootings that may happen, could cause some stress on teens. Traumatic events, such as losing a family member or friends, or emotional and physical abuse could be highly effective on teens. 6th, significant life changes, such as moving from one country to another or moving schools. It could be stressful on teens. According to American Psychological Association, teens revealed that their stress levels during the school year are higher than the average healthy level. From a 0.10 scale, teens reported 5.8 stress levels. During the summer vacation, the stress levels was high as well. Being from a point scale of 10, it was 4.7. Adding along with 31% felt overwhelmed due to stress, 30% felt depressed or sad, 36% of teens reported that they felt tired, and 23% said they skipped meals due to their stress. When it came to their physical or mental health, stress appears to have impacted 54% of their physical health and 52% of their mental health. When being stressed, it may affect your behavioral health, such as your stress and sleep. Teens reported that they got 7.4 hours on a school night of sleep and 8.1 on non-school nights. But the recommended was 8.5 to 9.25 hours by National Sleep Foundation. 18% of teens said they feel more stressed when they did not get enough sleep. When it comes to stress and exercise. When you exercise, you should feel in a better mood and less stress. But not many teens make the time throughout their day to exercise. 1 out of 5 teens reported that they don't exercise. Teens who reported their stress levels through the year spent 2 to 2.3 hours as well on their social media. But the average is 2 hours on social media, and those who spent at least 2 hours on social media had lower stress levels. Stress and eating. When it comes to stress and eating, 23% of teens reported they skipped meals due to the stress. 1 out of 4 teens reported that they skipped meals weekly. When it comes to managing stress, it could be by being organized, learning how to manage your time, and having a study plan when it comes to your school. And getting help by your family members that may understand the subject, or even getting a tutor could be very good for you. Staying active and exercising. Make sure you make that time throughout your day to exercise instead of spending it on social media or online, such as watching TV or something. It could help your stress levels. And don't keep it to yourselves. Open up when there's a situation that is affecting your mental and physical health. Meditate, relax, take deep breaths, learn these techniques that could lower your stress levels. Stay away from drugs. Drugs could lead to affecting your life currently as a teenager and throughout your life as you get older. Just breathe. Take time and be able to understand your situation and explain it to others when you need help. Get help when you feel stressed because it could affect your life throughout your life currently and throughout it. And I will be making an interview with a teenage student who recently graduated from high school. We'll get back to you guys when she comes. Thank you. Hello everybody, this is Asian, who graduated from high school in America, Chicago exactly. So we just wanted to ask you a few questions.
Yes.
What would you define stress?
I would define stress as something in situations I can't control, or like when I go to the McDonald's drive-thru and they're like rushing me to order. Like that's stressful for me.
Okay.
Homework, school. Yeah.
That's about it? Okay. What would you say you were constantly stressed out during your high school?
Keeping up with the homework, the work, the school, making my parents proud, time management, make sure my mental and physical health are still intact.
Was applying to college stressful for you?
Yes, I switched. I went to a community college, and then a week before I applied to a university. So yes.
What was stressful about applying to colleges? Did you know?
I didn't have a choice of what college I was going to because I'm Arab.
Okay. Seems about right. Did you feel any anxiety in high school? And what made you feel the most anxious?
I think everybody feels anxiety in high school. It's a part of growing up as a teenager. Makes you the most anxious a lot of the times is peer pressure from parents, pressure from peers, friends, teachers, trying to make everyone proud and please everybody, but you can't please everybody. So,
how did you deal with your stressful situations when it came to like really big stressful situations?
I think I dealt with things in unhealthy ways, such as sleeping and like pushing things off, which made obviously things worse and affected me, my mental health and physical.
Would you say that you skipped meals?
Yes. Sometimes you don't eat because you're so busy, or you just kind of like don't have that motivation to get up and eat, or even work out, or drink water, or hang out with friends, or sometimes you lose a lot of motivation when you're stressed out or struggling.
Did you work when you were studying?
I did work all 4 years of high school.
Was that stressful? Did you find that very stressful? Do you think if you didn't work, you would be less stressful?
I think if I didn't have a job, I would be less stressful, but not everyone has that. Not everyone cannot work. Some people need to in order to provide and help themselves and their family. I think if I didn't have a job, it'd be a lot easier, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and everyone has a different route in life.
Yeah. What did stress affect the most in your life, do you think?
I think my mental health, more than physical.
Could you explain that?
I think that a lot of times you kind of put yourself down when you don't get things, or you don't get that grade that you wanted, or you think you deserved. You're like, oh, I'm being dumb, or I'm stupid, or I'm not as good as my friends, or like my teacher, yeah. Things like that.
What are some tips you would give to incoming high school students?
I would say peer pressure, don't do it, will affect you. Those people, be careful who you become close with. Time management, your homework, such as go to sleep. Don't stay up late to go out with friends, because in the end they don't really care for you, to be honest. Everybody cares for their grades, themselves, their future. You're just in the way of that.
Do you think that the friends you made in high school are still your friends?
I have still mutual friends with a lot of them, but they're definitely not my kind of people because, again, peer pressure in high school, you learn a bunch of new things and things in the world and try to experiment, and a lot of them went downhill, I think. And ever since I cut them out, I've been doing a lot better.
That's good. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Razan.
Thank you.